Well, normally you see me driving in the car, but again, occasionally I have thoughts that I want to get out there when I'm not in the car. So this is one of them. Over the last week and a half, I've really kind of been taking British Petroleum to task and pointing out what's going on with the oil spill out in the Gulf, the Deepwater Horizon rig that sank in 5,000 feet of water that has been spewing, depending on estimates, anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 or even 80,000 barrels of oil a day into the Gulf. BP says it's 5,000. They base that on satellite imagery and samples taken at the surface and what they're seeing with the ships that are out there. Meanwhile, there's a new study, some samples taken by some scientists, that they are finding oil plumes, basically pools or layers of oil up to 300 feet thick, some as many as 10 miles long by 3 miles wide, but 2,500 to 4,500 feet below the surface. Well, what does that mean? It means that they say it's a consistency of like a light salad dressing. Yummy, crude oil salad dressing. But basically what's happening is the dispersants they're using and they're injecting into the plume are breaking up the oil into little droplets. But these droplets, because of the depth, because of the pressures, because of the temperatures, instead of dispersing, falling to the bottom of the ocean, or just breaking up completely, they're aggregating. They're building up into these pockets, these plumes underwater. Can't be seen by a satellite. But yet, some of them 10 miles long, 3 miles wide, 300 feet thick. Think about the oil that they're finding on the top of the ocean. It's just a fraction of an inch thick. And it's so huge. Multiply that out to 300 feet thick. That's what we're talking about. So this 5,000 barrel a day estimate is looking more and more bogus by the minute. Meanwhile, we're finding that this isn't the first time that BP has a problem with a rig that's been discovered. They have another rig called the Atlantis that's out there. The documentation they have on the rig that's supposed to tell them how to shut these things down is missing. It's improperly filled out. At least that's what they found when they audited it. Was that the problem on Deepwater Horizon? Did they not know how to deal with a loss of pressure that they were seeing just hours before the rig went down? Excuse me, hours before the explosion. The rig went down 2 days later. Is that the problem? BP has to pay for this. But, lo and behold, this week, and I'm going to read this so that I can make sure I get it right. Alaskan Republican Lisa Murkowski basically used procedural methods to stop the vote on a Democratic Party presented option to raise the liability cap from $75 million to $10 billion. This is what would be the financial cap for liabilities for damages that are incurred by an oil spill. Mind you, we passed $75 million quite some time ago. The act that she is blocking is called the Menendez-Nelson-Lautenberg Oil Company Bailout Prevention Act. She stopped it. Democrats are going to continue to present it. They're going to bring it up over and over again and force the Republicans that are against it to keep voting against it. Because essentially, this is a bailout for the oil company. This is saying, yeah, you cost the U.S. over $10 billion in damage with your oil spill, but we're going to limit you to $10 billion. It used to be $75 million. We're going to limit it to $10 billion. The $75 million, that does make it a bailout. Yeah, you don't have to pay for $75 million. Even $10 billion. It's probably going to go bigger than this. The Republicans, however, think the $10 billion is not the right way to go about it. And so they're trying to stop it. And here's what their suggestion is. It's backed by Murkowski, Florida Senator George Lemieux, Louisiana Senator David Vitter, Republican Senator Jeff Sessions and Mississippi Republican Senator Roger Wicker. They want to set a new cap equal to the last 4 quarters of the responsible party's profits, or double the current limit, whichever is greater. So, on the face of it, the idea is this. They profited $3 billion each quarter for the last 4 quarters. Their cap is $12 billion. If it was $6 billion, it would be $24 billion. But here's the thing. If they only claim $1.5 billion in profits, then it's only going to be $6 billion, less than suggested cap. Do you know who decides the profits? The oil companies' accountants. So basically what they're saying is, hey, the oil companies, need to pay for this, so let's let them tell us how much they should pay. Let's let the accountants in the oil companies tell us how much they should pay. Any guesses as to the odds the oil company will say they made less money that quarter? Now, of course, the thing is, oh, yeah, well, it's public, people would know. Sure it is. And so are all the accounting practices that have been done. Do you really trust the big companies to set the damages on this? Meanwhile, this is liability for fixing it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really even that fond of the $10 billion. Because they broke it. They broke it. The old Pottery Barn thing. You broke it, you bought it. They should pay whatever it takes to fix this. Then there should be fines on top of it. If you broke it, you fix it. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It's your responsibility. You don't just throw up your hands and say, oh, we're not paying. No. You broke it. You fix it, and then we talk about how much you need to pay. Anything else? It kind of is a bailout. You're letting them off the hook, and they shouldn't be. The damage is untold at this point. We don't know how much it's going to cost. Don't let them off the hook. If you're angry about taxpayers paying too much and paying for stuff they shouldn't have, you're angry about the bank bailouts and all the other bailouts, this one should really make you angry. This one should really make you angry because this is going to affect more than just jobs. It's already affecting jobs. If you have a job in fisheries or in shrimping or even in tourism along the Gulf Coast, you're starting to feel it already. It's jobs, but it's also life. They need to be held to task, and these Republicans were trying to pass this kind of cynical little measure to try to offer something else that just happens to be, oil company controlled, essentially. That needs to be stopped, and we need to raise the liability cap. That's what needs to happen. Hold these guys to task. Hold British Petroleum and anybody else who wants to drill responsible for what they do.